Hey boys and girls, let's go ahead and continue, not finish. We've just started. Junie B is not a crook. Do you believe it? Do you buy it? Yesterday when we started, we read the first 2 chapters, and Junie B showed up to school with what new item on her hand? Furry fur mittens, not just furry mittens, but furry fur mittens. And she was so proud of them. And then at the end, she was so proud it got her in trouble, right? Because it was more distracting to her, and it was distracting others. So Mrs. said, and she took them away. So let's continue with our chapter. Chapter 3, Being Brownie. Mrs. said I could have my mittens back at recess. I stared and stared at the clock, and then I tapped my fingers on the table, and I did loud breaths. Lucille tattled on me. Junie B keeps tapping her fingers and making loud breaths, and I can't even concentrate on my work, she grouched. Mrs. came to my table. Hello, how are you today? I said, kind of nervous. I'm fine, except I don't actually have my mittens. She tapped her foot real fast. That was not a good sign. Only guess what? Just then the bell rang for recess. Oh boy, I yelled. Oh boy, 'cause now I can have my mittens back. Right, Mrs. Right? I zoomed to her desk and put them on my hands, and then I rubbed those soft things all over my cheeks. It's good to be with you again, I whispered into the fur. After that, I put on my attractive winter jacket, and I skipped outside with my friends. Me and Tattletale Lucille and that Grace played horses together at recess. I am Brownie, Lucille is Blackie, and Grace is Yellowy. I'm Yellowy, shouted that Grace. I'm Blackie, shouted Lucille. I'm Brownie, I shouted. Only just then I looked at my mittens. I did a frown. 'Cause there was a little bit of problem here, I think. Yeah, only how can I even be Brownie? 'Cause my horse paws are black, and so I'm 2 different colors apparently. Lucille and that Grace did frowns too. Said that Grace. Said that Lucille. I said. Just then that Grace clapped her hands together, very excited. I know, Junie B. Today you and Lucille can trade. Today Lucille can be Brownie, and you can be Blackie. And so that way your horse paws will be the right color. Me and Lucille looked and looked at that girl, 'cause what kind of crazy idea was that? I did a huffy breath. Yeah, only how can I even be Blackie when I'm already Brownie, Grace? I said. I have been Brownie for my whole entire career, and you just can't go changing, you know? Yeah, Grace, you just can't go changing, said Lucille. That Grace looked embarrassed at herself. Oh, yeah, what was I thinking? She said, very mumbling. After that, all of us sat down in the grass and we tapped our chins. We thinked and we thinked and we thinked. Then all of a sudden, my whole face lit up. Hey, I thought of it. I thought of it. I know exactly what to do, I shouted. I jumped up. Start again, Grace. Say your name again. Say that you are Yellowy. That Grace looked curious at me. I'm Yellowy, she said. I pointed to Lucille. I'm Blackie, she said. I spinned around real joyful. I'm Brownie, only guess what? Yesterday, my grandpa Brownie bought me black furry mittens, and so that's how come I'm apparently 2 different colors, apparently. After that, all of us did high fives and we started playing horses. We galloped and trotted and snorted and snuffled. Only too bad for me, 'cause that sun kept on beating down on my horse head, and I got drippy inside my attractive winter jacket. I'm going to die of heat perspiration, I said. That's how come I trotted over to a tree, and I took off all my stuff. First, I took off my attractive winter jacket. Then I took off my furry black mittens, and I piled them in a careful pile. After that, I galloped away to find my horse friends, and we played and played. Pretty soon, Mrs. blew her loud whistle. That means the end of recess. Coming, shouted Yellowy. Coming, shouted Blackie. Coming, I shouted. Then I hurried back to the tree to get my stuff. Only guess what? I saw something very terrible there, that's what. And it's called, hey, somebody stole my mittens. Here are the horses. Chapter 4, no teddy backpack. I ran all around the tree. 911, 911, 911, I hollered. Somebody stole them, somebody stole my mittens. Mrs. came very quick. They stole them? They stole my mittens? 911, I shouted. Mrs. bended over. Who, Junie B? Who stole them? She said. A stealer, that's who. A stealer stole them. And what kind of school is this? 'Cause I didn't know there was crooks at this place. Mrs. said, calm down my voice. Yeah, only I can't calm it down that good 'cause I'm heartsick, that's why. Heartsick is a grown-up word for when your heart is sick. I looked at the ground real sad. Now all I have left is my dumb, attractive jacket. Mrs. picked it up, then she holded my hand, and me and her started to walk. You and I are going to the office, she told me. I quick tried to get my hand away from her. No, Mrs., I'm not allowed to go in there. Mother said if I get sent to the office one more time, I get grounded, young lady. Tears came to my eyes. Grounded, young lady, is when I have to stay on my own ground, I said. Plus, also, I can go on the rug. Mrs. smiled. I'm not taking you to the principal's office to punish you, Junie B., she said. I'm taking you to find your mittens. Principal? I asked, very shocked. Principal stole my mittens? Mrs. laughed real loud. No, Junie B., he didn't steal your mittens. The office is where the lost and found is located. After that, she took my hand again, and we hurried to the office. There is a grouchy typing lady at that place. I am not fond of her. Junie B. needs to look through the lost and found, Mrs. told her. Please send her back to class when she's finished. Then Mrs. went back to room 9 and left me there all by myself. The typing lady looked over the counter at me. I did a gulp. Yeah, only I'm not even bad today, I explained, very nervous. Somebody stole my mittens, and that's the end of my tale. The typing lady kept on looking at me. She didn't say any words. Sweat came onto my head. Phew, it's warmish in here, isn't it? I said. Just then, I heard the door open. It was Principal. He was coming out of his office. I jumped down at his sight, 'cause I know that guy very good. Principal, look, it's me, Junie B. Jones. My mittens got stolen at the playground, and also Mrs. brought me here to get them, and so just hand them over and I'll be on my way, no questions asked. Principal looked funny at me. Then he went to the closet and pulled out a big box. This is the lost and found, Junie B., he explained. Any time that someone finds something that's been lost, they bring it here, and we put it in this box. How come? I asked. How come they bring it here instead of taking it home? 'Cause one time I found a nickel in the street, and Daddy said I could just put it in the bank. 'Cause finding isn't the same thing as stealing, right, Principal? Finding is a lucky duck? Principal laughed a little bit. Well, finding a nickel on the street is different, Junie B., he said. For one thing, it would almost be impossible to discover who the owner of the nickel really was. And for another thing, losing a nickel isn't really a big deal. But when somebody loses something personal, like mittens, for instance, well, that's a very big deal. And so if someone else finds the mittens, they can bring them to the lost and found, and the owner can get them back. He smiled. And that makes everyone happy, Junie B., he said. The owner is happy because she has her mittens back, and the person who found them is happy because she's done a good deed. He pointed to a piece of brown paper on the box. See this? This is a poem the 3rd grade wrote about lost and found. It says, if you find stuff, bring it in, all day long you'll wear a grin. I did a frown. Yeah, only here's the problem. I didn't lose my mittens. They got stoled on purpose. And so no one will bring them in and wear a grin, probably. Principal raised his eyebrows. Well, You never know, Junie B. Why don't you look in there and see? He opened up the box for me. That's when my eyes got big and wide because it was filled with the wonderfulest items I ever saw. There were sweaters and sweatshirts and baseball caps and gloves and balls and a lunchbox and a scarf and sunglasses and a watch with Mickey Mouse on it. And there was a backpack that looked like a teddy bear. Oh, I always wanted one of those, I hollered, real thrilled. I put it on my back and skipped around the office. How does it look back there? I asked. Principal runned after me. He took the teddy bear off my back and put it in the box. We're looking for your mittens, remember? Just then I felt upset again, because I almost forgot about those furry guys, that's why. Oh yeah, my mittens, I said real glum. I looked through the box some more. They're not here, I said. My mittens are gone forever and ever, I think. I did a sad sigh. Then I picked up the teddy bear backpack again. Maybe I can take this instead, I said, because this teddy backpack will ease my pain, I believe. Principal said no. He took the teddy off my back. Oh, Principal said no. How come, I asked? Because the owner doesn't even want it anymore, I bet. Her mother already bought her a new teddy bear backpack, probably, and so this one just goes to waste. Principal stood me up and turned me to the door. That meant I'm leaving, I think. Come back tomorrow and look for your mittens again, he said. I talked real fast. Yeah, only I remembered something. I'm supposed to have a teddy backpack just like that one, maybe, only then I lost it probably, and so I better take that one home with me or else my mother might be mad. Principal walked me to the door. He faced me down the hall. Goodbye, Junie B, he said. I hanged my head real low in disappointment. Because guess why? Goodbye means no teddy backpack. Whew, okay, we'll stop there. Will she ever find her mittens? I don't know. I hope so.